What's going on, peeps? It's another episode of the D.B.A.B podcast. We're bringing an exclusive special episode this week because we are busy. Um, yours truly, I'm flying out to Lubbock tomorrow for a wedding. Jack will be there. Cletus is in the process of packing up uh, to head to the 806. Congratulations, Cletus. And then, of course, Cobbs and Adam are not with us tonight, but we're gonna do our best, the three amigos here, to give you all a great episode for the week. Um, we're excited, right? We're going to talk about the recap a little bit of the NBA Finals. We still got some Stanley Cup. I think game
It's game 5 right now.
game fives right now, right?
Mhm.
So looking to see if the Golden Knights are going to finish it in five, or if the Panthers can push it to six. So we'll talk about that, and then whatever else comes up top of our dome, we're going to talk about. But again, thank you for tuning in. We always appreciate our listeners. Reminder: you can always find a DBAB podcast anywhere podcasts can be found. Apple, Spotify, all the above. Remember, we are also on YouTube, so you can see all of our pretty faces on YouTube. Besides hearing our voices, and then also we are on Twitter, which is not very utilized very much, but we need to get that Twitter game going. But
Slacker.
we'll get there. Yeah, that's all me. We'll get there. But without further ado, it is the DBAB podcast. It's your boy Curtin. It's another episode of the DBAB podcast. I got Cletus Jack here tonight. Hopefully, we're going to give you another great episode. We're going to dive right into it, fellas. We were just talking about it pre-show. I said stop. We need to talk about it on the episode. We're going to give a recap of the NBA Finals because, as the listeners know, if you've been paying attention or if you just know me, I'm a big Miami Heat fan. And of course, they went down uh,
So we didn't
Game
we didn't give
Five.
him his taste in style or teams. So
No, I don't. We can go through them all, and everybody would be like, "This guy's he's a fucking idiot, loser, and whatnot." But anyways, it was great. It was like I was texting
No,
Jack
no
last
argument
night.
from here.
Yeah, I know. We all can't be A&M fans or whatnot. So, um, anyway, so Jack and I we were talking about it last night afterwards, and kind of throwing our 2 cents in there, just like we had done all series and actually all playoffs. But we've been talking about our respective teams here and there and whatnot. And as a Heat fan, looking at it just from the finals itself is very disappointing. Obviously, kudos and congratulations to the Denver Nuggets. They're a great team. The Joker is a great player. Murray is a great player. They absolutely deserve to win their first ever NBA Finals. And then, if I believe correctly, the stat I saw is the first time since '79 that a team from the Western Conference has won an NBA championship that did not hail from the state of Texas or California. So I thought that was kind of cool. I think the last team that did it was like the Seattle Supersonic. I could be wrong, but I thought that was kind of cool. But again, great team. They had great depth, with Porter and Gordon and those guys, and they all stepped up at different moments during the finals and had their games. Um, you know what I mean? So it's just tough to beat teams that are structured like that and have a dude like the Joker that literally he controls everything, right? And Jack can allude to that in terms of how he affects games and how much of an impact he makes and whatnot. But for the Heat, I know Cleet's really interested in all this talk. Um,
Well, no, not really. But
yeah, I know,
we're gonna
but
change it here in a bit, but
yeah, we're
well,
gonna
no,
change it here in a bit. But go
I
ahead.
just want to
we'll
make a
change it to
comment on the
College World
Joker.
Series.
I want to make comment. Well, I want to make a comment on the Joker, and
Okay.
just kind of from y'all's perspective, because y'all obviously watch basketball 100% more than I do.
It didn't take much.
Yeah, I know it doesn't. You can watch 1 minute, and that's a lot more than I have this year. Um, the Joker, is he the closest thing to like a Dirk or a Timmy that
Uh,
we've had in the last 10 years?
I
No.
wouldn't say so. I think he's like a combination of several players. Like he's a big dude. Obviously, he's tall and he's really like he's big. He's not like a tall, skinny guy. Um, but the thing about his game that's so special is that yeah, he can post you up down low and go to work down there, and he has touch. but he can pull it out from three and hit a couple threes every once in a while. He's not That's not his main thing, right? He's not a 3 point guy, but he can burn you and whatnot.
He's a distributor, right?
Yes, and that's one of his biggest things. Now, of course, he's going to get his rebounds, right? He's a big dude. He's going to get rebounds, but his vision on the court and how teams can sometimes, however they try to defend him, whether they want to bring two or three to trap him or whatever, he just has great vision to get his teammates in, and he's a great all around basketball player. You know what I mean? So he just has, if you wanted to go through and compare him, I mean, you could,
There's
he
a whole list.
there's a whole list of people
You
that you
can't
can
compare
compare
him
him.
to any of those guys. I mean,
Is
you think
is he
about it,
just kind
He's
of
like a
he's him?
combination of people.
he's a combination of people for sure.
He's
Like,
he's the Joker. I mean,
oh yeah, I mean,
he's just him. Okay, I
yeah,
was just like I said, I was
he's a stud.
curious.
He's a stud, and there's no question about it.
Mhm.
But the thing that like the debate about for me is they gave him a good supporting cast. There's no question about that. And the Nuggets have been number one and number two. They've been fighting with number one and two all year. That team deserves every bit of compliment and praise they get because they played well. And when one of them's off, the next one will step up, and they were making big shots at big time moments, and it wasn't Joker at all times. Joker
Right.
was going to facilitate and get his 4 assists and 15 rebounds and 37 points. But that's not what killed teams. It was his supporting cast.
Yes.
And you can't, I mean, they said now you have to put him in the top 5 centers. Hold up, back up a second. Back up a second there. You're going to go against some of the top best centers of all time that were dominant, that could take over a game by themselves and drop 50 any given night and they still win. Like
Shaq,
you have
Wilt.
Shaq, you have Wilt, you have even the great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I mean, the list goes on and about these great centers. Joker's up there. Like, don't get me wrong. He's great. He's going to be a great career. And he facilitates, but if you give him the same pieces that, say, Jimmy Butler had, is he going to do the same results? That, to me, that's the big question. Like, because the NBA. Yeah, I mean, think about it. Dirk didn't have to go against that dangerous West.
Mm-hmm.
The Spurs, the Lakers, the Nuggets at times.
It was a
the
freaking
Suns,
gauntlet. It was a gauntlet.
The Kings. I mean, Dirk would have at least 3 or 4 rings if he didn't have to go through a gauntlet. And then we wouldn't be having this debate if Dirk is a great power forward. Well, in our on people's list, Dirk's a top 10. There's no question he's a top 10 power forward in the game because he changed how we look at stretch 4s and 5s. Now those guys shoot. Now those guys facilitate. I still remember Dirk's playoff run in Miami in 2011. Like, to me, that solidified him as one of the greatest basketball players in that he had he shot 90, 40, 50, 40, whatever it was from the field. He single-handedly got the Mavericks back in game, but it wasn't just him that got him to the finals. It was that supporting cast.
Right.
And it was great. I mean, he took out some of the best in the game. He took out KD, Western
Thunder, right?
James Harden in the Western Conference Finals. The series before, they took out the defending champs Lakers and swept them in 4. Remember that game? He just was shooting lights out from the field.
Yeah.
In the series before, they made it a series with Portland or a team that Warriors, a team that always got their number in round 1. It didn't work out for them, and they went to the finals. And the finals, they go take out the big 3. Yep. And that was the first year of the big 3. And the next year, we have history in Miami. They have the big 3 and whatever. But to me, Joker's up there. He's a great player. And he's going to have a great career. But my question is, when you give him a supporting cast that some of these other guys have had, are they going to be number 1 and 2 in the league? Because Jamal Murray is a dog. He's a stud.
Right.
And the Heat, I was pulling for Josh just for the Heat's sake, but I don't think they have a chance. But I think if you say, I would say that I said this today to someone, playoff Jimmy, awesome, great. Finals Jimmy, still missing.
Yep.
Still, I mean, unless
I
that
would agree.
last 5 minutes of the game last night he showed up, but some of the decisions that the Heat were making
Right.
were mistakes that you make in the first round of the playoffs, just trying to get the field. Like they've been to the finals before. They've been to 3 finals in the last 4 years, right? Am I wrong on that? The Heat,
I
They've
think
the Heat have
been
been to two at least
they've
because
been
they went in
two
the
in the last.
bubble
Yeah, they went to
with
bubble.
and then this year.
sorry,
Yeah, so they went to the bubble finals.
with this group though,
Yes,
Well, this is a new group, but
most of
that's
them,
a,
yeah, most of them.
most of
but
them have.
it's a culture thing in Miami. They got a
It
pretty
is a
good
big
culture.
culture. It is a big culture deal, and like they do a great job of like we've talked about last time with Spo and that culture and buying into it or whatnot. And it's a different team for the most part than the last time they're in the finals. Like Bam was still there, but he's more of a. I feel like he's a better player now than he was then. But and I'm not gonna throw excuses out there for him, but these two finals they've just been outmatched. They play the Lakers in the bubble final, and they had LeBron and KD, and they just that was too much for
AD,
Miami. I'm sorry,
AD.
80. Sorry, excuse me, 80. And then of course, against the Nuggets, like everybody knew that they were outmatched, but they went in, they still battled. But the thing for me that was disappointing was that Miami, like their whole playoff, when you look at the whole playoff run as a Heat fan, like I can look back and be proud of their run that they made to get to the finals because they weren't like a number 1 seed
Oh,
or a
they were
number
8
2 seed. They were an 8 seed. They had to do
play
it. They
in.
had to play in game. They lost their first playing game and then had to come back in the last moments of their other playing game just to get a date with the number one Bucks. And then, they just went on a great run, right? They beat the Bucks in 5, they beat the Knicks in 6, and then they went up 3-0 on the Celtics. And then ever since that 3-0 run, like for me, like they just changed. You know what I mean? Like overall, because
Yeah,
we all know that the Celtics won 3 in a row. Then Miami put it together for Game 7. You're like, all right, this is the Heat that we've seen in the playoffs. And then, and of course, in the finals, one thing
the,
that didn't help them was they didn't shoot well as a team. You know what I mean? Like all the guys that had stepped up on their run and were knocking down shots. Caleb Martin, Max Struz, Gabe Benson, all these guys that were contributing and helping out when Butler wasn't doing his thing, and especially when Bam wasn't doing his thing and carried the load. Um, they just, overall from the whole series, they just didn't show up in the NBA finals. You know what I mean? Like Bam did. I thought Bam
I
played a
think
great
that was
series.
that's what I was about to say. I thought
Um,
Bam really surprised me.
and I
To
think
be honest,
it's crazy for me to say this, but I just think he had a better matchup, and the way that Denver played him was a lot different than the Celtics. Like the Celtics literally tried to make his life a living hell, and he couldn't handle it. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like all this stuff. But the Nuggets never. The Nuggets didn't do that. You know what I mean? So he had more like one-on-one matchups, and when
yeah,
they would switch off a screen, he got better matchups. So he shot better. He shot a lot better. He had some flow to him.
yeah.
Butler was all over the place. He had more bricks than makes. Terrible shooting. Max Strus was god awful from the series.
They were
And then
trying to
they're
force him too much. I thought.
yeah, and he's their sharpshooter, but he was a dull shooter all series, and that's like I told Jack last night, and it probably wouldn't have made a difference. They probably go to 6 games, maybe 7 at the latest. But if they had Tyler Hero uh, and
Victor
Victor. Uh,
Oladipo, baby.
Oladipo, then maybe they have a little bit better guard play and ball handling and stuff like and shooting whatnot. But at the end of the day, like everybody knew, the Nuggets were they just were too much. They were taller, longer, bigger, more physical, um, and of course, like Murray didn't go off every game, but the game where he and the Joker went off, like there's nothing that he could do. That two man play was just it's hard
Yeah,
to
there was
stop.
no coming back from
It's
that one.
hard to stop, you know what I mean? And then, what was kind of demoralizing is the Miami wins game 2, and it's like, all right, we're going back to Miami, and then they just get curb stomped Miami both games, and it's just so demoralizing as a fan. And then they had their chances last night. They literally did have their chances last night to take it back to
Yeah,
Miami, and they just pooped it down the drain. Like Jack said, Butler scored 13, but he scored them with like 5 minutes left in the game when the previous 30 something minutes, he didn't do nothing except just brick after brick. And then they just coughed it up at the end and
yeah,
Denver won it. But like I said, congrats to Denver. It's special for them to be able to win it, especially win on their home turf. It was good for
Especially.
them, and they deserved it. You know what I mean? It's not like Miami was cheated out of anything, or Miami was
Oh,
the
you
better
said
team.
that,
No,
huh?
no phantom calls.
Yeah, no fan. Oh,
I did think
uh,
I don't know if they're phantom calls, but I do say the physicality on one end compared to another end was kind of questionable. But it's
I
NBA
agree.
basketball, it's playoff basketball. That's one
I
thing.
agree.
And
There's one I texted Josh and I said that one. Said that one was kind of you
I just
call it
wish
on one end but not the other. But it
I
is
just
what
wish
it
it
is.
was.
It
I
wasn't.
just wish it was a little bit more balanced. They let and again, not to sound biased, but just watching the games,
no sound
like
bias.
Jack
You're a
said.
fan.
Well, I
Sound
know.
biased.
I'm
It's
just
okay.
saying, like
It's okay to sound biased as a fan.
Yeah.
I know. I just and I'm sure Jack can allude. He kind of alluded to it just now, but the Nuggets were a physical team, but they were able to be more physical on the off, on their end. And then when Miami was physical, it wasn't reciprocated to allow them to
Well,
play physical.
Or does it like there was a play you can go back and watch this cleat. There was a play where Joker he's on Kyle Lowry. Well, anybody in America know that's a mismatch. Well, Kyle Lowry's literally put all what is he 210 or whatever, however
Yeah.
much he weighs, all on Joker. Which in basketball against a big on big, everybody's gonna put their weight on you. Well, Lowry's all over Joker. Joker backs him down, and Lowry like ends up straight back, his head jolted back, and Joker goes up for a layup and makes the layup easy. Well, the next series down the way, Bam kind of does the same thing against somebody, and they call a foul on Bam. But on the other end, Joker just trucks little Lowry in the paint. I was like, so what's the difference here? I mean, it's Kyle Lowry versus Jokic, and over here is Bam Adebayo versus Aaron Gordon, which it's questionable things, but it's playoff basketball. You pick and choose because in any as a referee, any call in basketball is a foul. Anytime someone touches the ball, it's a foul, a turnover,
mm-hmm.
Right.
something, and you just got to pick and choose where your battles are. But I'm like, Lowry, any given day of the week, he's going to lose that battle. Like,
Oh,
there's no way in heck Kyle Lowry's body is going to compete with this guy's body. There's no way.
absolutely. Yeah.
But that's one. But it was a great series. I mean, it could have been more entertaining if it was Boston because they would match up better. Just saying. Just I'm lying.
Uh,
I'm lying. I'm lying. I don't.
nah, I'm about
I
to
think
say
I,
like I think
I
Boston would have been in the same boat. You know what I
I
mean? And
think the
then
only team that gave the Denver Nuggets a fine game was what their second series that gave them a battle to 6 games. I don't remember who it was to be honest with you, but I think they were just meant to be where they were.
I
And
think I just think it was
For
and
first title,
where's the Adams aluminum hat? It'd be perfect time to bring that compliment that debate. The owner or whatever, the GM guy, his name's been popping up like crazy. He's had whoever he put his name on or whatever 4 things. Those 4 things have won championships in the last 6 years. He had his name on in Los Angeles, the Rams.
the owner.
He
Yeah.
yeah he did like some little league or whatever. They won a championship. Another big one won the Stanley Cup last year.
Yeah. The
Can you tell me
Avalanche.
the Avalanche and now the Denver Nuggets? I'm not aluminum foil hat guy, but if Adam was here, he could probably be saying some stuff like that. But I'm just saying that's a little fishy. But no, the Nuggets were good. They deserved every bit of it. Joker's good, and like someone said, the Embiid still deserved the MVP. Yeah, Skip. That's why you're losing Shannon Sharp.
Mm.
That's why.
I
for that's
agree.
Because you're saying
I
dumb stuff like that.
I
that
agree.
was their first title, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and
For Denver.
first title in Denver's history, and that's good for them.
Yeah.
Good
That's
job,
good.
Denver. Good job.
The more I listen to Jokic, the more I listen to Jokic today, just like his post game interview stuff, the more he like he's just like a go with the flow. Like
Mm-hmm.
you see him. They asked are you staying for the parade? He said, when's parade? Thursday. He goes, no, I
Yeah.
have to get back home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty funny to see all that kind of stuff.
He
I'm sure
I
he'll be there.
the more interviews I watch of him, the more he's just kind of like he's gonna do his job, and when
Yeah.
he's done, he's done. He has other interests, like
And he's
he's just
and I don't know. He's a from what I've seen, he's a great guy. You know what I mean? Like even last night after winning the game, like all the rest of the Nugget guys were celebrating stuff like that. But like Jokic went and he went to every single Heat player and personnel and shook their hand and told them good game. And
Mm-hmm.
he just seems like he's just a really good person, down home guy. He's not.
Be the light, baby.
Did
Yeah, you know,
do you see
definitely.
what? Do you see they asked him why'd you wear 15? He goes, it was the biggest jersey when I was playing I was a fat kid and it was the biggest jersey they had. So
Yeah.
I
Oh,
just
yeah.
stuck with 15.
Yeah, he's definitely up there as a good basketball
Yeah,
dude, and a lot of them probably are,
yes,
but he
Mhm.
just stands out because he just won the NBA Finals, and they're going to make it a
yeah,
big
Yeah.
deal with him.
I did see and I'm with you. I did see someone on Twitter was the Jokic and they said what we kind of talked about earlier about the sinners, him
Yeah,
being one
I
of
saw
the
that.
I
Yeah,
just and I that did not sit right with me.
I saw it, and who me and an avid listener talked about it today, and I started laughing, and I said, "Nah, he's an idiot. He's a slap." Is what I
That
told him. I said, "Slap," and I said, there's no way." And I said, if he really is, they'd be playing the NBA Finals and not him. So, but anyway,
I don't know. That didn't
back to sucker
that's
punching.
yeah.
Since
yeah.
Well, I did see
That's
this. I did see this real quick. It was kind of
uh
like one of those coincidence things, and I think it was another picture off social media of Jokic when he was younger. He was wearing a Denver's Nuggets like sweater. I thought that was pretty cool.
oh, nice.
Yeah, when he was a kid. But anyway, go ahead, Jack.
So we're gonna change the topic to something Cletus gets a little excited for. I watched, I was watching a little bit of the basketball game, and I was watching a little bit of the College World Series or Super Regionals last night. How about we talked about in the office today a guy that I'm not baseball experts. Our baseball expert, he would get a chub if he was here tonight, but he's missing out. So sorry, Cobbs, that was your fault. But there's a dude for Stanford, right? We'll go on to what happens later. But Stanford had a guy that pitched 110 pitches on Friday night. He sits out the next game, or no, he plays Sunday and pitches another 40 to 50 pitches, and he pitched 150 something pitches in 2 days. And the question is, like, is that, and they projected this guy to be in the top 10 to top 25 projected draft picks in the MLB. How do you guys feel about that? Like, how do you feel? I know you play the game to win, but the overall, like, a guy, pitched 160 pitches in less than 2 days.
there's a reason there's a pitch count in high school baseball because of that shit. I mean, honestly, there's a reason there's a pitch count in high school baseball, and if you hit so many pitches, you have to have so many days rest
Yeah,
because they're having one ace and they were pitching that ace every other day,
yeah. Oh
and
no.
your arm, it's kind of like running backs in the NFL. The running backs in the NFL they only have so many touches in their career. Well, I think pitchers, you only have so many curveballs and so many breaking ball, so many pitches you have in your career. And you got to think some of these guys have probably been playing since they were what 5 or 6,
Yeah,
Yeah,
playing probably, and they're good enough playing that travel ball stuff. So they're playing probably baseball year round
yeah,
on top, and that doesn't sit right with me. Just because I think as the adult, as the manager, as the guy in charge, your job is to protect the player from the player.
yeah,
Because if you say, hey, you want to play, most really good players
yeah.
will
They're gonna
say,
say, yeah,
hell
yeah.
yeah,
I
fuck
get
yeah,
you.
let's
Yeah,
coach, I got you.
this
You're
was a debate today. That's why I'm bringing it
as
up.
the adult and as the coach, our job our job our first job is to protect the player from the player. And so, because most of our kids are going to say, "Are you good?" And they're going to say, most of the time, they're going to say, "Yeah, coach, I'm good." And their freaking arm may be falling off, but they don't want to disappoint you either.
Yeah,
right.
So that didn't sit right with me hearing that, and but you
you,
know,
you
I
win.
get,
You got
yeah,
to win.
I could see the other side of like, we need this guy to close his game out.
And obviously, they got to last night.
Oh, that was.
It
Oh,
was, we will go to that here
I
in a
was
second, Josh.
so.
We'll
Oh,
go
I
on.
was
We'll
so
go to that
happy.
here in a second. We'll go to
Oh,
that here in a second. Josh,
that made
what
my.
do you think about this?
It's I'll I could repeat all the things that Cleet says and what y'all have said about when you look at it, because you can look at it from a couple of different lenses. You know what I mean? You can look at it from you know
We want your lens, no one else's.
yeah
How do you, he's Cleet said it doesn't sit right with him. I
Mhm.
could tell you. I could tell
well
you. I mean, I'm going to be the devil's advocate here in a second, but
yeah, I guess I can be your junior devil's advocate. But I didn't know anything about it. Hearing about it now, so this guy's pitched, I'm guessing 80 plus pitches a game. He's played in 2 games in like a 3-day period, I'm guessing, right?
oh, he came in. So he started the game on Friday,
Okay.
and he pitched
Pitched
100
what?
pitches. 100 pitches,
Okay.
Okay.
and then he came in at relief on Sunday, Saturday or Sunday. Came in
So
relief for five.
he
They
had
were
a
up by
day's
5.
rest.
Yeah, they were up 5 runs, and he came in and he pitched 40, 40 pitches on Sunday to keep them alive for
Okay.
Monday.
I
Uh,
got
so he pitched over 150 something pitches total or something, but he
you.
had
Yeah,
like
and
17 strikeouts. His numbers were 150, 60 pitches with 17 strikeouts
yeah, and
and
of course,
and a certain amount of earned runs. But
yeah.
his numbers were impressive. So I could see why the coach was like, yeah, we're gonna put this guy in and
Yeah, so my only, I guess my complaint would be obviously they started him in one game on Friday, and whether they won that, I'm assuming they won that game, and or whatever, and then the Sunday was a game they needed to win. I don't know, they might have lost Friday if Sunday was a game they needed to win to get the Monday.
what is best of 3 in regional super regional. So
Yeah.
they won Friday, they lost Saturday, and they needed Sunday to keep it
Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
so
to get
obviously he did
the
well the
run.
first start, and then in I guess the be all say all game, you know what I mean? If they're up 5, you're kind of hoping that you have somebody else in relief that can
That's the
carry
thing
you over
over
the
too.
line. But at the end of the day, you're gonna want to put your best players out there, even if they're not
Mm-hmm.
100%, because they're gonna give you a better opportunity compared to somebody who is not as good, but they're at 100%. You know what I mean? And we can equate that analogy to other sports, because you want your best guys on the field when it matters. You want to
Yeah.
throw all your marbles out there, if you will, or roll the dice with your best guys, so you don't have that doubt later on that
What if I should have
woulda,
done
What
woulda,
it?
coulda,
if?
shoulda. Yeah,
Yeah.
the woulda, coulda, shouldas if they had lost that game Sunday. And even for the kid too. You know what I mean? I think I'm pretty sure it was a conversation that they both
Oh, it
had,
was. Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. And I'm sure the coach tried to, I'm pretty sure he went both ways with, "Hey, we need you," but at the same time, blah blah blah.
How do you
But the kid is,
feel?
yeah, and if the
How's your
kid is,
arm? I'm
and
sure all those questions were asked,
yeah,
Yeah.
and at the end of the day
or
too,
you would hope.
They were,
yeah,
I'm
and at
sure.
the end of the day too, we don't know, you yourself know your limitations and how you can do stuff. So if that kid pitched Friday and he comes in Sunday and he's feeling good, you know what I mean? We as humans can't do X-rays and all that kind of stuff and see things and be like, "Oh no, you can't do it." You know what I mean? But it's you just kind of have to. It builds trust within your guys. You know what I mean? Especially if he's your ace dude to be like, "Hey, go out there and win this game for us." You know what I mean? So, uh,
Mm-hmm.
it's probably not the right thing to do when we're looking at the health and safety of your student athletes. But like Jack said, this was probably a moment, an opportunity for them to do something that they haven't done ever or in a long time. I
In a
don't really
probably in a
know.
while, I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
They
I
went
guess
last year. They've been there like 3 of the last 4 years. They've been in the
the World
College
Series.
World Series. But
Yeah, but again, to get there, you know what I mean?
yeah, it's. I mean, it's a grueling task. You could tell me that. There's another thing that a guy pitched Friday, and then he came in Saturday as middle relief. So it's not like just Stanford's the only school that's done it. Like it
Right.
happens all the time. Like
Oh,
the
it
big
happens in
question.
the pro. It happens
Oh
in the pros.
yeah, on big in playoffs, and
Play in the playoff games. It happens
yeah,
all the time.
and that's a big thing. So, but like we're questioning this guy, the coach, is why you put this kid in. But he puts it in as a winner. Well, your competitive juices are going, and you want to win, right? Bottom line, you're beating the team that was picked to
Right.
win the Big 12, go to Omaha in the beginning of the year. Like they were picked to go there, and
Right.
Stanford's hosting a regional. I'm telling you, I know you too, Joe Jackson. You do the same thing. You would do the same thing if when it came to this point in time, you do the same thing to beat that team across the way. You do anything. You would throw everything but anything in a kitchen sink and a refrigerator to beat the team that Stanford played, right?
Absolutely. Yeah,
And that's what Stanford did. And you question it. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind you question everything you do, but you win. And we'll go on, and that was a whole debate topic we had today.
you got to risk it for the biscuit.
Yeah, and it went on. We can go on this topic for hours, but I think it was like funny or creative. It's like, baseball has like it kind of it governs itself. So like if you watched the game last night at the bottom of the ninth or the top of the ninth, Texas had a chance. Stanford gets him out. The dude strikes him out in the top of the ninth. They had like a guy on second, strikes him out. They go to the bottom of the ninth. First guy gets out on a fly ball, I believe. The second one strikes out like on a few questionable strikes. And the next guy comes up, it's like their all Pac-12 player comes up and hits a bomb. Like it's you knew it was gone as soon as it hits the bat. Well, on the fence, it hits like the white part of the fence where it doesn't look like it's out. Well, he's running down first base line and he takes his helmet off thinking he just won the game because he hit a home run. But the dude throws a dart back. No, that's not. And the guy throws a dart back at second. He gets a touch base on second base. And the guy just thought he won. And I was like, dang, he almost lost. They almost had to go double over extra innings because he thought he hit a homer and he missed it. And then the next thing we know, it's been all over Twitter and Facebook and Instagram today. The pop fly that Texas couldn't see. And it's just like,
so do you know why?
Yeah, because the light, the twilight,
the lights,
and
all the lights in Stanford point down to the field. There's not a single one that points in the air.
Yeah,
where it can illuminate the ball, and so I mean that happened to A&M a few times a week before. They would lose, especially at night, if you're not used to something like that.
Yeah.
I mean those pop flies, they get lost.
Oh yeah, they talk about it. They talk about it on the broadcast.
If it gets high enough, you lose it.
Yeah, and they said if you don't see it off the bat, you'll lose it in the air, and that's what happened with Texas. And that's a terrible way to lose, and you don't wish that on your worst enemy.
Oh yes, you do. Fuck those guys.
It couldn't happen to a nicer program.
Those guys.
But it's like it happened, and you like watch. They show like video angles of like the pitcher and the catcher like running off, like game, baby, we're going extra innings here, and they just look and they're like no. But you see that shortstop, the catcher and the pitcher were like sitting there like we're about to go extra innings.
Well, after he scored, the catcher just gets on his knees and just like, what the fuck just happened?
Yes. Oh, man.
I feel for the kid, but
I feel for him too, but
I'm so happy those bastards.
It's like, would you rather have that happen or the home run, man? It's like, I'd rather have the home run at that point because that guy hit a bomb. If you didn't watch it, go back and watch that whole, a dude threw a guy out on second or threw a guy from right field all the way to third base on the 8th inning, I guess, or was that 9th inning? I don't remember. He threw a dime from center or from right field all the way to third base and gets the dude out the inning before, and then the next inning this happens. And that's one way to punch your ticket, man. That's like an epic
happened. It couldn't have happened to a better fan base.
I absolutely
It
agree.
could not have happened to a better fan base. Because those bastards were celebrating, then they went.
Oh no! What happened? What is it? The surrendered cobra? That happened all over Austin.
No, they go, Marlene.
They messed up again, Marlene. There goes our hopes again, Marlene.
All right, Marlene, pack up the trailer. We're going to Omaha. Never mind.
Never mind,
Marlene.
Hey, I just want to know that the two guys that picked LSU and Tennessee are still in the hunt. I remember saying.
Will you write that down?
I remember saying Tennessee would be in World Series. We got to go back to one first episode, 2 episode. I think I said Tennessee's going to the World Series.
I think I picked LSU.
No, you didn't. You said Miami. You said
I
Miami.
do.
Me and
I do
me,
remember. I do remember
me and
saying
college picked LSU
them two picked LSU and I picked Tennessee, and y'all thought
because
I was crazy.
reluctantly, I picked LSU.
Well, they're
'Cause
still in it, big dogs.
I know.
How about
I
Oral Roberts though?
Yeah,
How
great run
about
from
the
them.
the gummy bears for hits? Is
Yeah,
the
man.
gummy?
Yeah,
That's
man.
awesome.
Come on, Oral
I love.
Roberts. You're kind of rooting
Did
for people
you
like that.
did
Absolutely.
y'all see the thing I sent you on the group chat? The text the Jello shot leaderboard in that
Yes.
bar, and that is
Omaha.
probably one of my favorite
Is that in Omaha?
traditions. And yeah, that's in Omaha. There's a bar in Omaha, and they keep tallies of the Jello shots. Each people from each team that come in at the bar in
That sounds like
order.
a heck of a thing to do, and just
I
go
think last
say
year.
I'm an LSU fan, and then go say I'm a Tennessee fan, and then all
Yeah.
the way just buy a
what
shot
was
for every team because there's 8. That's 8 shots. Josh, you
Yeah.
shouldn't do 8 shots.
No,
no?
I'll just cap it at 4.
Yeah, you'll end up with rubber ducky tape.
Who? It's what is it?
That's great.
Jello shot challenge.
or you'll miss meetings you schedule.
Oh, New Year's Eve was fun that year.
Yeah,
So,
I'm sure it
so,
was. You didn't
so
even
last
share. We didn't know.
so last year, the winning team from the Jello shots, Ole Miss, 18,777.
It's a lot of shots, but it's also 2 weeks, right?
It's for the whole College
Yeah.
World
So,
Series.
but whole college World Series is like 2.5 weeks.
Yeah. So what is
That's
that? Say
a lot of tourists.
say
Mhm.
18 days, right?
Yeah.
A lot of money for that bar.
You know.
That's 1,043 Jello shots a day.
Well, like sometimes people just buy like, hey, it's like 5 for $10.
Yeah.
So, but yes, but that's pretty cool.
That
But you also like people make it a trip, like they go one
that
weekend and then the next weekend, and then some people go for the championship weekend, So
Right.
that's a bucket list for me is the College
yeah,
World Series. Like
I'd
I
like
would
to,
love to go with the boys to Omaha and just hang out for the week
yeah,
and freaking watch some college baseball and freaking hang out.
We
yeah,
need to
And do
put the
Jello
boys
shots.
we need to put the boys bucket list together of everywhere we want to go.
yeah, definitely.
Make
That's
it
one.
happen.
I'd like to
Mexico
go to Omaha for sure.
Mexico
GoFundMe
together.
page for
Vegas,
it.
GoFundMe. Come on, Pete, GoFundMe. Either
Vegas.
Vegas or you
Hell,
know,
Mexico trip together.
Then we could podcast on location at our bucket list venues.
yeah.
Let's go.
But the only question is, we're gonna have one guy that's gonna be tied down for 18 years now. So.
I know.
Eh.
eh,
Yeah,
eh.
he'll figure it out.
No. So good podcasting here.
Okay.
So
The downtime or what you're about to bring up?
the downtime.
Right.
So all right, we got 8 teams, right? Okay, we'll keep the college baseball because it looks like Vegas is gonna pull off. Good job, Vegas.
What's the score?
You should win. It's 4-1, so Vegas should win. You got 9 Stanley Cup
Yes.
players on your team.
Yeah,
Good job, Vegas.
For the listeners that don't know, don't follow hockey. Tonight is Game 5 of the Stanley Cup. The Golden Knights of Las
The
Vegas.
Golden Vegas.
Golden Vegas, baby.
The Golden Knights
Not R. Kelly. Not R.
of
Kelly's
Vegas
version.
are up 3-1. They're up 4-1
Ark-
here in Game 5 over the Florida Panthers. So it looks
There
like
you
they're
go.
gonna wrap that up.
See what
So
you did there.
both teams from Florida are gonna come up short. In the
Damn.
time.
I didn't even think about. Way to say it like that,
I
man.
know. But
You hate to see it.
I hate to see
Them
it.
dang
But,
Florida teams couldn't come in close.
pretty good year overall for all Florida teams except the one there in Coral Gables. But we'll let that one fly. But
I wonder
we'll
who that
take
is.
this moment to shout out our sponsors. That's nobody, so thank you. All right, back to you, Jack.
So we had a debate today. This was a kind of cool debate we had in the office. When we were waiting for like our lunchtime to go because we're working this camp, and our boss man said, who do you guys think is the best athlete? We'll go NFL. Who's the best athlete in the NFL?
Ooh.
Right now,
Yeah.
best athlete.
Yes. I'll tell you some of the ones we had today. Shout out to
Okay.
coaches on staff. One was Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
Okay. One was Tyreek Hill.
Okay. Yes.
One was Saquon Barkley,
Okay.
and another one was DK Metcalf.
Okay.
What no love for the big boys, I see.
All physical
Oh,
freaks.
Zero love for the big
Well,
boys.
you're not going to get no love in
I
a
would even
skill
like. Can
world.
we even throw like? And again, this is just me.
To me,
we throw Aaron.
I said to me, we said even it was like who's the best athlete. I said to me, you want to know mine? I said Aaron Donald.
I was just about
he's
to
not
say Aaron
playing.
Donald.
Yeah,
Aaron Donald, and they mentioned Miles Garrett. Well,
Miles Garrett, that's up there with me. He's a
but they were talking about him going up and windmill and dunk and stuff like that. I was like, he's 6'5", bro. Like he should be
can't
dunking
dunk,
at
just-
6'5". Aaron Donald's 6'1", and he can probably dunk. And
Right.
like he's the highest paid defensive lineman in the history of defensive linemen, and that's Aaron Donald.
Yes. But that's a pretty good list. That's a pretty good list of the other guys, though. Like,
Yeah.
What about the big boys have to block those guys?
I mean,
They got to be great athletes too.
yeah, definitely. But that's
But,
why
like,
they got the whole
best,
left tackle
but
blind side.
best overall athlete. Yeah, those are pretty good names because, like, obviously, like Tyreek and Lamar, they're super fast and agile
Speed.
and quick and all that stuff. And Barkley he's fast, but he's strong. That's a great list. I don't know. I'm sure there's others
Like,
that we can't think off the top of my
like
head.
Alvin
but
Kamara.
Alvin
Alvin
Kamara,
Kamara's up there. You got the Austin Eckler.
yeah, little short, little bowling ball.
You have Derrick Henry was mentioned.
Okay.
Yeah, he best athlete. The things Travis Kelce can do is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I thought.
Yeah.
Things George Kittle can do is pretty impressive athletically.
Yeah.
But
can they always outrun somebody though? You got to think about that too. Are they going to outrun somebody like Flatty?
But what is to you? What's athleticism? Is athleticism speed?
Like athleticism is being able to win one-on-one competitions in a midfield or middle grass.
But
I don't necessarily think that Kittle and
speed being fast
Travis
doesn't
can do
make
that.
you an athlete necessarily.
Yeah, I know.
Jumping high and like leaping ability,
catching high, body control.
That's probably more athlete there.
Athlete,
to
baby.
me, athlete, baby.
Athlete.
Are we talking about guys that are still playing, or could we go
now, man? Right now in the NFL, quit trying to go back because if it's like Barry Sanders, man, or Bo Jackson,
I would say Bo is
or Prime Time, people like that. If you're gonna talk
Megatron,
if you're gonna say all time, like the list can go on and on. But it's like Bo Jackson, Prime Time, guys that went and played other sports are a perfect example of being athletes. Like right now, Josh, who do you got? I said Aaron Donald. That was mine.
That's who I was gonna say.
Poor thing. Pick another one.
Give me 1 second. Let me do some research here.
As you're Googling it like a pendejo.
Yeah, well.
Ooh.
Jabroni.
If I can lump them together, I would say the Bosa brothers are pretty good athletes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Bosa brothers. Okay. You got
Micah
JJ, Micah Parsons. Okay. I didn't even think about Micah Parsons.
TJ Watt.
TJ Watt. I was gonna say JJ.
He's not playing no more.
I know he's not playing no more, pendejo.
All right.
Dude, I don't know. That's a great question. I mean, now?
Yeah, I just like how you're on your phones. Like we didn't even have phones for this debate.
I know,
but I'm trying to get.
I just can't think of. Can't think of anyone.
You guys, I mean, you can say a corner, a safety. Like there's a whole list of like.
Dude, Trent Williams.
Yeah,
Trent Williams would be a great one.
The things he can do for his frame.
Yeah. Oh, we got Cletus. He got his Trent. He got it.
There's your big boy.
Oh, we got two big boys. We got Darren Donald's not a big boy, but he's a lineman. And we got an offensive lineman for Cletus. What you got?
What about Zach Martin? Would you consider him?
I don't necessarily count he's a great overall specimen.
Oh, what's
Or
the
not
guy
a
from? What about the guy from the Colts?
Quentin
Oh,
Nelson.
What Nelson?
Jonathan
Yeah,
Taylor.
Jonathan
Jonathan
Taylor
Taylor,
would be up there too.
the
You
yeah,
know,
freaking
Taylor, but
oh
Nelson,
Debo.
Debo Samuel.
Debo Samuel.
Samuel was talked about today
Yeah,
too when we discussed it. Uh,
Debo's a good
I
one.
think I think what's his name has a good chance to be a pretty good overall athlete too, but I think he's on a not so hot team, and that's Dijon Mustard. I think Bijan has some pretty good
Oh
capabilities.
oh
Bijan
yeah, I can
yeah,
see
Robinson
that.
from
yeah,
Texas,
yeah.
I think his upside's incredible.
Yeah,
Even though he
he's
came
just on a
from
shitty franchise.
he came from a terrible university, but he
Yeah, so serves him
shout
suck.
out to those guys. You know who I'm talking to. But no, I think he has the capability of being a really great back. I just don't think he's on a very good team, to be honest with you.
He's gonna be those guys, and we talked about this already. Like in fantasy, you're gonna draft him because he's gonna get 40 touches a game
Yeah.
because he's their only freaking weapon.
Yeah,
Yep.
What about
but it could also backfire. So we'll see.
that is very true. Would you consider Mahomes a great athlete?
Yeah. I
Patty,
mean, yeah.
Patty,
And that was like a whole nother discussion too. Who's the best quarterback? I mean, we can go on. Who's the best quarterback in the NFL right now?
um,
I think it's hard to
my vote's
hard.
Patty. I mean,
Pat
the
Okay,
things
Mahomes
he
is
can
mine
do,
too.
it's Pat.
but
I think right
he
behind
also has a
Patty. Right.
great supporting cast.
Yes. I
Oh
think
yeah.
he's
Oh
still,
yeah. Agreed.
but he also makes everybody look better around him with what
Well,
he
I
does.
mean,
Oh
think of
yeah,
perfect example. They lose their leading rusher, or not leading their rusher, their leading receiver and pass catcher and touchdown. Tyreek Hill, and the next year they win a Super Bowl. I mean, that's personnel, but that's also playmakers making plays. But
hmm
to me, that I said Patrick Mahomes is probably the best quarterback in the
Yeah,
league at the moment.
I think so too.
And
And
he's
I even think right behind him, like I think, I think Joe Burrow is right there, right
dude.
behind him.
Joe Burrow.
Joey B, man,
Joe
just
Burrow.
that swagger. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of like I'm serious. I'm a big fan of he. You know, he's gonna tell you, "Hey, fuck you." Then he's gonna throw for 400.
I think
You
they
know,
did. I think that happened, and he got told "f you" back.
probably so. But
Just gonna say that because that did happen. They did beat the Chiefs in the middle of the season, and then they come back and it mattered, and
Yeah, Burrowhead.
they lost. So,
oh, that's right.
but I mean, come on, man. The Bengals are good, but like I think we've had a debate about Aaron Rodgers moving to the AFC. I don't think that's a good decision. But they said if Aaron Rodgers takes them back to dominance, he could be considered one of the greatest quarterbacks of
But
all time.
you got Josh Allen in that same division.
Exactly. I mean, you got Josh Allen,
I
Trevor
mean,
Lawrence, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow. Uh, what's his
fucking
name? Herbert, Justin Herbert,
You got
mhm.
Herbert. You got Tua. You got Mac
you got
Jones.
And
and you got
two.
Lamar.
You got you got
Mm-hmm.
Lamar Jackson. The Steelers quarterback.
Oh, come on, Pickett. Come on,
Yeah,
man.
Pickett.
You're saying Aaron Rodgers
You
ain't
got,
better than
you got,
Kenny Pickett?
I was gonna start naming all the quarterbacks in the AFC. that he
yeah,
has to go around.
don't name all the quarterbacks in the AFC,
Hey,
please.
Ryan Tannehill. Okay, there's one quarterback he's better than is Ryan Tannehill.
Tannehill's not even the damn starter yet. That's the thing. Oh,
Man.
dude,
Even the Falcons quarterback is better than Ryan Tannehill. I don't even know if they
that's
have
not
a
that. That's not that hard though.
quarterback.
You're trying to
Didn't
take
they
a
just
jab
draft
at
a
me.
quarterback?
You're trying to take a jab, and I'm agreeing with you. Yes,
I'm
they
just
Hey,
did.
saying,
The
man,
kid
I'll
from
say this:
where's
Kentucky.
Adam at to help?
Super Bowl or bust for the Tennessee Titans this year, man. Super Bowl
Uh,
or bust,
Hell.
baby.
I'm taking the over on the bust.
Here's again the shitty thing is they have a really good fucking head coach, and I like their new GM.
You know,
The
well, fired the last one because they gave up
yeah
a receiver
I
for pumple gum that
I
used
like
bubble gum.
I
Traded for
like their
Dak.
new GM. He seems lots of energy, and I really do like the Titans released like a little like mini series on YouTube on him on like kind of his path because I think
Uh,
he's one of like how many African American GMs are in the NFL?
Not
I
very
don't know,
many.
3
He's one of them. I know. He's one of the
or minorities is
the
4 because
the
what's his name's a
minority.
minority. the Jaguars is a minority.
right. And so they did the thing on him, and I liked him.
The
I think
Lions,
he's.
is that another one?
Oh, I. What do y'all think about Dan Campbell? I'm a fan. I'm a big fan of Dan Campbell,
Yeah,
and I'm
me
going to
too.
root for the Lions as long as he's the coach.
I agree. I like him a lot. I like the passion and energy he brings. I think he's a player's coach, um, old school, if you will. And I'll be really interested to see if they're able to replicate what they did last year and then build
He,
upon it instead of going
Here's
backwards.
here's what I like too was like you said, players coach. You know, and you do you watch hard? Did you watch the Hard Knocks last year with him?
Uh, yeah, I did.
Yes,
I did not.
I did.
They went full pads, full contact, like for what a week, Jack.
Yeah,
And the first day he goes, I know this sucks, but we need to do the shit to get over the fucking hump.
yeah. That's what he said. He said, I wouldn't do it if I didn't care about you guys. Dan
We got to
Campbell.
get over the freaking hump. Oh, Jamal Williams. Speaking of athlete, he's a player, man.
Yeah,
And what I like about him is he walks to the beat of his own drum. He does not
yeah.
care what anyone thinks about him. He's going to do him,
That's
and
true. That's very true.
I like that about him. The what? Let me ask you this question: What is there a football or let's say go football basketball player that could go to the other?
You just trying to get this one. Every
Well,
time you get the chance, you like cops. Every chance you get, you try to bring in a baseball discussion. You try to bring
no,
in a
no, no,
football. That's
no.
it.
I'm not saying that. Listen to
Right,
the damn
Josh?
question. Listen to the
Yes.
question.
I'll go.
Dingbat,
Dingbat, go.
okay?
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Is there is and me and you and we've had this discussion too, saying an NBA player could go on the NFL field and be successful. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Could an NFL player do the same thing in the NBA? Or is there like just a few of them that can go do that?
There's a few of them that probably can.
I think it's both the same way. I don't think every NBA player could transition to being successful on the football field.
Mm-hmm.
Just like I think not every NFL player can transition to be great at basketball, but I'm sure there's some here and there. Like obviously the
Well,
taller
like,
guys and
well, like
whatnot.
think about this. You think it telling me 7 foot Joker,
Is that what
seven
he
foot
gets 7
Joker,
foot?
seven
He's
foot
7
Joker could
foot.
go be a defensive lineman in the NFL.
I think that's too big for the NFL,
I
honestly.
mean, exactly. But can a 6'6" receiver go play in the NBA and be a pretty decent guard?
Yes.
I mean, it's a
I
different
just
skill
yeah,
set.
yeah,
I
it's
mean,
all
yes.
the size and
I
so
say yes. I mean, can
Is
you
that
say
the average size of the guard? Is 6'6" now?
yes? Well, like if you think about it, an average size NBA player is about 6'9", 6'10".
Is it
So
really?
yeah. Well,
Has
like think about the freaks. You got Joker, Giannis, Joel,
mm-hmm.
uh, like the freak, like the smallest one in the NBA is Steph Curry, and he's 6'2", 6'3". I mean,
Yeah,
he's one of the
Steph
short.
Curry's a
He's one of the shorter ones, but he's 6'2", 6'3", and he's pretty successful. But like,
yeah.
you still have some freaks. You have what's his name, Boban, and he's 7'4", 7'3", whatever the heck he
Mm-hmm.
is. He's freaking huge. But I mean, that's the difference. Like you're telling me. I mean, you've seen some pretty good, like maybe like a shorter type player in the NFL can go be a decent basketball player, but like a 7 foot guard or 7 foot center can go be playing NFL. I'm saying like I think Jimmy Butler could go be a receiver or something.
Yeah.
yeah, I
I mean,
think
it's
guys like him, you know what I mean, maybe to the most extreme, somebody like excuse me, like LeBron, you know what I mean? Like I think it gets to a
right.
point where certain height it's you know.
Well,
Now
y'all
if
watch the.
you could be sorry, please.
Oh, you're good. Go. I'm sorry.
Like say if you're 6'10", but you run super fast and all that kind of stuff and have good body control, then you might be able to make it as a receiver. It's just real awkward. You know what I mean? I guess we've never really seen it before for those guys to transition well to
different
those
body
4.
types too.
Yeah,
Right.
A whole different body type and a
yeah,
aerobic,
and for
aerobic and
most part,
anaerobic.
like, and I don't know if it's our society or just people around the world, but like obviously they kind of get stereo or they get pigeonholed into certain roles based on height. Like if if Jack being 6'4", like he could play football and be fine, and he'd be decent in basketball, but he wouldn't. Obviously we know Jack's good basketball player, but like transition to the NBA, he would just be another somebody. And he'd be like a
Hmm.
little guy out there. Where in the NFL or on a football field, he's gonna be a big dude.
And
Um,
that's a big difference to me. That's like the big debate that like people say, and that's exactly what Josh just said is a perfect example. Like average size in the NFL is not the average size of an NBA player.
Yeah, and it's always pushed too because even I saw it on social media a lot too. Like, and it was the opposite way around. But like, if like if Jack and Hannah had a kid and that kid grew up to be 6'7", 6'8", I don't think they're gonna be pushing them
There's
to
a good
play.
chance that may happen too.
I know, but I don't. But when you think about it, like I don't think
Jack's
they're
gonna go, yes, sir,
now
Yes,
unless
ma'am.
he,
Yes, sir.
all the way to
now
the NFL, baby.
yeah. Now he might could develop into like an offensive tackle or something like that. But you know what I mean? If he doesn't have that frame, then or he grows taller and he grows to be 6'9" or 6'10", then they're most likely going to start. I don't want to say push him, but his career path will be more basketball because that's what his skill sets will allow him to be more successful at.
Well, like the one I
Well, I don't
always
know. We got to ask the other coach Garcia what she's
Oh,
going to
I know.
coach Little League. I'm not
the
coaching Little League.
Hypothetically here.
Yes.
the 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 Allen Iverson documentary. Have you seen that?
Yes.
I've heard of it,
You
but
know,
I've never seen it.
and it's really good because they were talking about like, AI's first love was football.
Yeah.
Like he
He
was
was
Mike
really
Vick.
good. Yes.
He was Michael Vick before Michael Vick.
Yeah.
Like he was that, he was that type of athlete. And obviously, he kind of basketball was, he's really good at basketball, but I mean, he was a tremendous football player.
Yeah.
You know, Vic was probably another one that probably could go play in the NBA. I bet,
Yeah.
especially during that in the early 2000s where
Yeah.
they weren't as big
Yeah. That's probably
and
true.
just
Speaking of that, it brings in the next topic or question I was asked. What makes a Hall of Fame career?
Ooh. This is such a debated topic because for for most people,
It's rings.
it's
for most people
championships.
it's going to be championships. But and yes, I think that plays a factor into it, but there are several players in all the professional leagues that are in the Hall of Fame that have never won a title.
Yep.
So I
Hmm.
think what people need to do, and again, it doesn't need to be at the forefront. Like for example, like the debate with obviously we all know with like LeBron when it gets compared to MJ and Kobe and stuff like that. Everybody always brings up the rings.
Well,
But when people do their deep dive and they actually go through and they look at these guys' careers, they set themselves apart. You know what I mean? Like I've
Yeah.
seen several stuff recently about LeBron that
Like his longevity career can't be
yeah,
yeah.
and
matched.
always does. And you have to
Oh,
look at. Go ahead, Clay.
we've talked about this too with like Dirk and Timmy.
Yeah.
Right.
Me and Jack and you have had this same conversation with
A little more
between
heated
Dirk
though.
Yes.
between Dirk and Timmy,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's the same. It's kind of it's the same. Like Jack mentioned earlier, if Dirk Nowitzki played in the early '90s or the like '80s to the like if or
Now, if he was in the prime now,
now he would win some rings, you know.
Yep.
But
he would have to go to Golden State or
because you had the Shaq Kobe Lakers,
Yeah.
you had the dynasty of San Antonio during that same time. I mean, you had to beat Shaq or Kobe or a Pop or Timmy to get to
Right.
the finals.
Yep.
You
And
know,
the thing for the Mavs too, and Jack could probably agree with this, is that like what you're just talking about when Dirk came into the league and the gauntlet he had to get through. Well, first off, if the Dallas was in the East, he has way more finals appearances than just the two
yes,
he went to.
Agreed. Agreed with
I
that.
agree,
First off,
completely
but
agree.
but how and what makes his career And what makes him such a great player and special is that the gauntlet that he had to go through. And again, he only went to the finals twice, but he had to go through all those. But like, think about like you just said, like
He had no help.
he had to go through the Lakers dynasty with Shaq and Kobe. He had
Derek
to
Fisher,
battle.
Rick Fox, those are some
Yes, he had
dominant
to
teams.
he had to battle the Spurs dynasty, the mini Lakers dynasty that rebirthed in the 09-010 with Kobe and Powell, and
The
then
Mike Bibby led Kings.
Spurs again, and then towards the end of his career, I don't know if he was there necessarily, but then the Warriors. So like,
Mm.
and it's just like you said, like now he's had a little bit of help, but nothing compared to what the teams he faced had. Like
Mm-hmm.
early 2000s, he would, you have to
Well,
go against Shaq and Kobe. He
mm-hmm.
didn't have no help.
And Phil was part of that.
Yeah, going against the Spurs dynasty, you got Pop, you got Timmy,
David
um,
Robinson,
The last bit of
yes,
David.
Parker.
Lev and Parker and Ginobili, and it's just like Dirk never had. If Dirk was Batman, Dirk never really had a good Robin. You know what I mean? Or
Nash.
Nash
he
wasn't.
never.
Nash.
He never had Nash that long. Or
How long
Yeah,
did
but
Nash
he
like
have Nash?
They never got to the championship with Nash.
yeah, but like
Right, but
like when you look at their overall teams though, like he's going against the Avengers and he's you know
he's by himself.
yeah he's
Which
by himself. You know what I mean? Like
and I think like y'all were saying, like the titles don't need to be the end all be all. But I think if you have two players that are similar, do titles put one guy over the other?
I think I think it
I mean
does.
that
I think in
that's
people's mindsets it does.
And that's, I
you
mean,
know
that's, I mean, there's a bunch of Hall of Famers in the Hall of Fame right now that never won a ring.
Yeah, I think it's the body of work
And
of a
and
player.
I agree, the body of work. Like they say, first ballot Hall of Famer. Well, there's some first ballot Hall of Famers out there that never won a ring. Perfect
Right.
example. I'm going to go a little football debate. Charles Barkley is a Hall of Famer. No
yes,
Right.
question, no questions asked. Hall of
Well, even
Famer.
like Dan Marino,
Even Dan
Yeah.
Marino, you got Barry Sanders. I
Barry
mean,
Sanders.
uh,
I also think
Eric
sometimes too,
Dickerson.
Eric Dickerson, yes, right.
Now does
But
let
also
me ask you this question.
their impact on the sport too. I think it also
Mhm.
play a factor into it.
Like, all right, Josh, D Wade, Hall of Famer.
I think so.
Why?
Uh,
If
well,
you say
again,
ring, I'll smack you.
no, no. Of course, obviously he's won 3, but I just think his impact for the Heat organization, and now he's had some good teammates, right? He's had Shaq, he's had LeBron and Bosh, but I think based on what he did alone for his position as a guard warrants at least consideration to be in the Hall of Fame.
Okay,
To go back, look at his
Haslam.
number. Haslam, I don't think Haslam does, to be honest. Love
Well,
Haslam, love UD. If he makes it, great. If he doesn't, then I'm not going to cry a
okay,
tear about it because he's been more of a role player. You know what I mean? It's not like he's been the dude
Is
like that.
okay. I'm gonna keep piggybacking off the Heat guys here. Okay, Alonzo Mourning,
No.
Chris Bosh.
Oh,
as a Heat or as a Raptor?
I mean, he's
his
gonna go
career.
off his
His-
career.
I think he'll get there, but I don't know if
How's he gonna get there? He's done playing.
I know. I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets voted in.
Eventually,
But he is done playing.
That's what I'm
no,
saying.
no, no, no. That's he'll eventually get there.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think he will, but uh, winning helps. But I think his career. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at his career.
I mean, come on now,
He-
come on now.
I got
I
one.
say
for y'all,
yes.
Jack.
I say yes.
You say Chris Bosh is a Hall of Famer. Okay.
You know what? I'm gonna say them all. Put Alonzo in there too. Alonzo.
All right. What about him? He had a short tenure. He had a short tenure in Miami land. Chris the Birdman Anderson.
Oh no.
That was quick, man.
He's
What
a
about Michael?
piggyback.
What about Michael Beasley?
No, he was a bust.
All
He was a bust.
right. What about what's his
he-
name? Shane Battier.
Nope.
I don't know. Who
Mike
was the other?
Miller. Nope.
Mike Miller. That was the other one. Who's the other? Who's the other big with Shaq, the power forward, when they won the finals? Was it Haslam? They had one more
Haslam
that
was
came off the
there.
bench.
I don't know if Eric Dampier was
No
there
idea.
or not.
Eric Dampier. He was a Maverick too.
Yes, they had a couple. Like I remember that run. I think it was after O'Neal left. They had their run of trying to find the
All
center,
right.
especially like for LeBron. They had Dampier. They had that Eddie Curry.
Yeah.
Here's one for y'all. Does Eli get in because of the 2 rings beat in one of them? Oh yeah, he beat Brady twice, didn't he?
Eli's in the Super Bowl.
Eli's
in the Hall of Fame.
Is he in the Hall of Fame because of those 2 rings?
He's in the Hall of Fame.
Name. He's had a great career too. Like
he's in the Hall of Fame because it's Eli. It's a Manning and it's Eli, and he won 2 Super Bowls. And he did. I mean, he doesn't. I mean, he got 2 Super Bowls, but it's not just because of that. It's because what he did for that organization as a whole. It's the Giants. Yeah. Like they were competitive in New York because of Eli Manning.
Because of Eli.
So, so I would say yes, Hall of Famer. All right, I got one for you. Ooh. I got an NBA here guy for you.
Oh my gosh, are we done?
Big Ben Wallace.
Ooh, those Pistons.
Oh, he was with the early 2000s Pistons, huh?
Well, they won it in like 04.
Yeah.
Yes.
With Chauncey Billups,
Rip Hamilton, Chauncey Billups, Tayshaun Prince,
Ben and Rasheed Wallace.
Rasheed Wallace too. Yeah.
They have the Wallace guys.
Yeah.
One of those
Spurs
beat 05.
I know for Big Ben, the case for him, like obviously he won one, but like he was not really a good offensive player. Absolutely terrible free throw shooter. Great defender and rebounder.
Yeah.
He's almost like a Rodman type. But a very small guy. Like he wasn't tall. I think he was 6'8", 6'9".
Yeah.
Got in there and battled. He was built like a Greek god.
Yeah. Don't get excited, Josh.
I know.
That's a good one, though, right? Hall of Famer. Yes or no?
Hall of Famer.
What do you got?
I don't give a shit. We're talking about fucking basketball.
I
don't care. I really don't give 2 shits.
I say no.
You say no Hall of Famer. All right, Cleet.
What about you, Jack? What do you think?
I think he is. Just because they're gonna do that year back and look at that year they won 04 and 05.
Well,
they went back to back. They went back to back and they lose to the Spurs. And I think the body of the work, his body of work in Detroit speaks for itself. I think he does. I think a lot of that Detroit Piston teams get I think most of them, if not all 4 of them, at least 2 of them go. And I think
so if we speak about that Pistons, like we look at so it was Wallace. There's both Wallaces.
Yeah,
I would say Phillips,
Chauncey, and Tayshaun and Rip Hamilton. Yeah,
I would say those would be the main 4 that get consideration.
Yes, that's what I said.
I don't know. Like I think Chauncey goes in there. Like you said, Ben. I think the one out of the 4 that's probably least likely to be Rip Hamilton, in my opinion.
Or Rasheed.
I can see Rasheed sneaking in there.
What, because of his years in Portland, or what?
Yes.
Okay.
That and just what he's.
All right, Cletus. Here we go. We'll go NFL talk for you, big dog.
Y'all are talking.
All right, Chris.
I'm horrible on that kind of
Chris
stuff.
Johnson, Hall of Famer.
No.
Josh.
I don't care. He rushed for 2,000 yards 1 year. His body work is not very good outside.
No, I don't think he makes
outside of that year.
Okay. All right, we'll go a little closer to home. Adrian Peterson.
Yes.
First ballot. Fucking make his mold right now. All day.
All from
he was the most dominant back for like 8 years.
Okay, Adrian Peterson. Okay. All right, here we go. Jeremy Shockey.
Ooh.
That's
oh man.
I want to say yes because he's a Hurricane, but I don't know. Like
he won 2 Super Bowls, did he not? Didn't he win one in New York and New Orleans?
Yeah. Yes.
Wasn't he in New Orleans with Brees?
Yeah, and for a while in the early 2000s,
he was the specimen. He was the guy that people try to beat.
Right.
It was him. It was him and Tiki Barber were the only 2 weapons.
That was the next
Giants.
That was the next guy I was going.
Tiki.
Yeah.
If you put Rondé, do you have to put Tiki in there too? His brother Rondé Barber. Did he play safety? Right?
Safety, yeah.
For the Bucks.
Yeah. Yeah, give it to him.
You say yeah. You say both
Yeah.
Rondé and Tiki Barber.
Yeah,
The
throw 'em in
Barber
there.
brothers.
Yeah. But Jeremy Shockey, yes or no?
Yes.
God dang. That's
I
hard, man.
I got him. I got
I mean,
Cletus over here.
That's
Look at
that's. I mean, because again, it's kind of like with Eli. He did a lot for that organization. Like
Yeah.
for a while, like him and Tiki were the.
Yep.
That's the only reason you went to Giants games to go see those two play.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or
That makes
and
sense.
Michael Strahan during
Yeah.
that same time.
Which that's a Hall of Famer. He's a
Yeah,
Hall of
he's. I mean, automatic Hall of Famer.
Right.
Yep.
Ooh, JJ.
Famer. Bro, you didn't ask Jeremy.
I answered
JJ's a Hall of Famer.
They're,
Yeah,
see,
JJ.
they're retiring his jersey.
Yeah, JJ's a Hall of Famer. There's no question.
Oh,
Oh, good.
Defensive
I like-
MVP 4 times.
was the
Led-
most. He was the best football player in the NFL for what 6 years?
Yes, like they had to prepare for him. Like that,
Yes.
no doubt. No doubtable Hall of Famer. Tony Romo.
In the in Northern Illinois Hall of Fame, maybe. No, the Eastern Washington. Which one do you go to?
No, Eastern
Eastern-
Illinois.
Eastern Illinois.
Cowboys
Eastern
fan
Illinois.
says he made a terrible team, 8-8.
Yeah.
I say no.
I say no. I say no too.
No. I
Sorry,
I say
Tony.
Tony no mo.
Actually,
Tony
only way he'll get in the Hall of Fame now is if he has a good broadcast career. That's the only way he'll get in. Is if he has
Yeah.
a good
And he-
broadcast.
I enjoy Tony Romo on the broadcast.
Okay.
Like
I do too.
I've really enjoyed him listening when he commentates, like Sunday Night Football.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed.
Okay, I got one for you. Joe
bring it.
Thomas.
Yes.
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 All right.
Yeah.
Jeff
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yes.
Yes. I'll be right back.
Travis
Uh,
Frederick.
I'm trying to think who that guy is, Jack.
Played for the Cowboys. He's a center for the Cowboys.
Was he with that Great Wall of Dallas? That
2.0, yeah.
Yeah, the
The beard
early
guy.
like mid 2000s when they had that really good offensive line
No, it was with Romo, with DeMarco Murray.
with Tiki Barber, in that
Mark.
crew.
Yeah.
Ware, Demarcus Ware.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, I would say so.
Travis
What
Frederick.
about is Terrell Suggs in there?
Terrell Suggs.
Is he
That would be my
Too
next
Sizzle?
one. I think he would be in the Hall of Fame.
Ball so hard University.
I mean if Ray Lewis gets in the Hall of Fame, so does T.
T.
Swizzle.
Oh, I love
That's a good question for Josh. When Josh gets back, we gotta ask him Terrell Shrugs. So
I'm happy Zach Martin's got he got in or is getting in.
Zach, oh yeah.
Is
All
he
right,
getting
Josh.
in or got in?
He got in.
Okay.
Joshua.
Yeah.
T. Swizzle. Terrell Shrugs. Hall of Fame.
Ooh.
Ball so hard University. That was always
Player.
my favorite intro.
Great player on a dominant defense. Won a Super Bowl. With how they let
Oh,
they go
what's his
nowadays.
name? What's his freaking name?
I'm gonna say yes.
Good question. I say the same thing. All right, Aqib Talib. See or no?
Dude, I have to think like running
He was a
back.
cornerback.
No, quarter.
Cornerback. He played for the
Broncos and
Broncos,
he-
the Rams.
Oh yeah. I'll say yeah. He had a pretty good run. Champ Bailey. No, Champ Bailey's already in, isn't he?
Yeah.
The champ.
Is Chad Johnson Ocho Cinco in? I can't.
Oh, I don't think so. Not yet,
Yeah,
anyway.
okay, Ocho Cinco.
Ocho Cinco, Hall of Famer, see or no?
Nope.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Maybe later down like Drew Pearson. I mean, if he
Right.
gets in faster than Drew Pearson, that's a joke.
Oh, no doubt.
Original 88. Okay, we'll go quarterbacks.
Okay.
Ben Roethlisberger.
Yes.
Yes. What he meant to that organization, and
Okay.
that what was it from his rookie year till year 5 or 6? He was Now he was on some really good teams, but yeah, I think Big Ben's in there.
Okay.
I agree.
Vinny Testaverde.
That's close to Josh's heart right there.
Mm.
I
I think he had a great college career, and I think he had a subpar professional career.
So no.
Yeah,
No,
Chad Pennington.
that's the
No.
next one I was thinking of.
Okay. Drew Bledsoe.
Ooh. Always going to be overshadowed for what happened when he
With
got
Tommy,
replaced.
but they were rolling, weren't they, with him until he
Yeah,
got
they were
hurt?
pretty good.
Then he went to Dallas. We're gonna talk
Yeah.
about that.
I'm going to say
I'm
no.
gonna say no. All right. Closer to home here. Drew Brees.
Yes.
Yes. I don't think he's first ballot, but I think he gets in.
First, I think he's first ballot.
You think he's first ballot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's first.
All right. Alex Smith.
No.
No.
Tom Brady.
Hey. Yeah. What? Fitz.
Let me think about that one for a second.
Fitz Magic.
It's magic. No.
No.
Josh
Corn.
McCown.
You want to see the bust with the beard,
No.
the beard bust?
Josh.
I got one. I got one for you. Ryan Tannehill.
I actually have one. Smartass. Hey, Priest Holmes.
Oh.
Ooh.
Priest Holmes, and who is the other one?
I don't think so.
The other
Dante Hall.
Dante Hall.
I think. I mean, it's like the whole thing is
Texas.
Yeah, it's like the same thing. It's like Sean Alexander, Hall of Famer.
I think eventually, but not.
Dante Hall. I don't think so. I mean, Priest Holmes.
Hasselback.
No.
Hasselback.
No.
You
had. I had a good one a second ago, and you made me lose it.
Oh, my bad, dog. I'm trying to think of like some of the defensive players. Warren Sapp's already in. God, what was his
Brian
freaking name?
Urlacher?
He's already in, isn't he?
I don't know.
I think he is. I think Urlacher's already in. I want to say he is.
All right, Sean Lee, Dallas Cowboys, Mike linebacker. See or no?
Oh.
Sean Lee.
Oh no.
Ooh, no, Mike Allstott.
If there's a Hall of Fame for getting hurt all the time, Sean Lee's first ballot right there.
Mike Allstott.
Yes. A-Train, baby.
Dante Culpepper.
Ooh.
No.
God, you're such a hater.
Chris Carter.
I thought he's already in.
I think so.
Okay, Randy Moss.
Yes.
He's already in, isn't he? No.
Hey, is Steve McNair in already?
Oh, that's a good question.
I think he is, but let me double check.
Steve McNair, baby. What about Eddie George?
Ooh, I think Eddie George.
Yes. Him and Steve McNair were the freaking franchise for the first few years of the Titans Oilers.
So Josh, go back before we keep playing this game, all right? So you say what makes a Hall of Fame career is the overall body of work of an individual and their teams and their team's organization and to the league is what makes to you makes a Hall of Fame career.
Say that one more time.
So you say what makes a Hall of Fame career is the overall body of work for the individual that plays for the organization and the league. So you say a perfect example would be someone now that hasn't retired that's still in the league would be a Hall of Famer. No question. Besides Tom Brady, that's still in the league. That is
any
professional league that right now is no doubtably a Hall of Famer. As soon as they retire and their 10 years is up, they can be in the Hall of Fame.
I think it's 5 years. I have to wait. Well, obviously, LeBron James.
LeBron James. Okay.
No, that's the obvious one, right? We all know that's the obvious one. I'm trying to think. For some reason, I keep going to the NBA right now.
Yeah.
We know it's pushing on your brain.
What about Ginobili?
You're still in the defeat mode.
Ginobili, I think, could make it NBA wise, and Tony Parker
I
and Tim Duncan.
Hey
I
man, I
I
thought
think
we changed topic from NBA to football, and then we're going back to
I
NBA, and you
know,
bring up
I know,
Ginobili and Parker. So make
well,
up your mind what
and
you want, man. If you want
you got
NBA
me
Hall of
all.
Famers, we can go on and do what we just did. But I changed the subject for you because I don't give two rat's asses. And then we changed subject. Then you come back with a Tony Parker and Ginobili debate. So you tell me what you
I
want.
can't have an opinion on that.
Well, I'm
I'm
changing
not allowed
subjects
to.
for you.
Okay,
You can't.
I can't. I can't have an
I
opinion
got
on
you.
it.
I'll just
You
sit here and shut up.
uh,
It'll be a 2 minute podcast. Go for it.
you do have the face for radio.
oh, Cleet's gonna.
No, but that I mean, you're right. I mean, Tony Parker, man, Ginobili, yes, body of work. Their rings speak for themselves and what they did for their organization. I think Hall of Famers. Um,
Yeah, I think what they did for the international, the
yes, but we
international.
also can go on. That's not who
Well,
they didn't start the international.
I know
BS.
they didn't, but they were that you Dirk, Parker, Ginobili.
Yes,
Those three, I think, were kind of the Gasol brothers.
yes.
You
Oh,
know, they
that's
were
a good
really.
one. Paul and Mark Gasol, are they Hall of Famers, Joshua?
yes.
I think they need to go in together. I'm just saying. What about Zebo?
Zach Randolph. See if we. I was another one I was going to go up before we changed subject to football. I think Zebo.
No.
No,
He was so dominant though for
he
like
was, but
a
yeah, I
4 or 5
agree.
year stretch,
I
man.
agree. I agree, but I think
Who was the
it's hard.
guard for those Grizzly teams?
Mike Conley.
Conley.
He could freaking play, man.
Yeah.
I knew when the Spurs played. Anytime the Spurs drew the Grizzlies, like in the first
Oh,
season,
I loved it because the
dude,
Spurs
it
would be
was a
beat up.
freaking.
The
It
Spurs would beat
was
up.
a war because the Spurs really didn't have the size to match up with both
No,
of them.
no.
Timmy could take one, but they couldn't have. They didn't have anyone
And
else for like
that's
Zebo.
they beat them, but they'd be beat up in the process.
Right, exactly. And so for the West Conference Finals, you're going there freaking limping against like the Lakers or the Mavs or the
Warriors.
Thunder, the
The
Warriors.
the end of the Spurs run. That's what killed the end of the Spurs run was the last bit of the Spurs run was going against the Warriors peaking. Like that's when
Right,
the
Yeah.
Warriors
and,
started to
and
hit their
it's when
little stride.
the NBA started changing from
Landscapes. Yeah.
everything started stretching out
Yeah.
to okay, hey, I got one. Freaking dumb fuck. Green for the Warriors.
Draymond Green.
Draymond Green.
Oh, you got to wait for this topic when Adam's on here. To be
Mm.
I'm
honest
not
with
I'm not the biggest fan because I think he runs his mouth a lot.
Fuck Draymond Green.
But how he played defense during
I think
this
he
era.
is. I told Adam, I said, I think he is. And I said, if I told Adam this all the time, and he can agree that I've said this. But if Draymond was any other team but the Warriors, he'd have a different respect for him. And,
Oh, no doubt.
But he doesn't like Draymond for for a couple of reasons we know. But to me, as like I think we don't like him because he's on the Warriors, but we'd have a different respect for him if he was on a different team. And I think he is a Hall of Famer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he'd be as good if he was on a different team. That's my opinion.
Well, I agree. But he's like, like the whole thing with the Kelsey Brothers podcast, they talk about if football and basketball had enforcers like hockey. Draymond Green would be the enforcer for the Warriors.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, the rest of them are all little.
I got one. I think I know the answer. Y'all's answer to this. Bruce Bowen.
I'm out. Night.
Yeah.
No.
Let me wrap up.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the
podcast
dang
now.
Spurs, man. He's going
Sorry.
on a Spurs, man. Yes, he's a Hall of Famer. Jason Kidd, Hall of Famer. Michael Finley, Hall of Famer. Sean Bradley, a Hall of Famer. Jason Terry, a Hall of Famer.
Terry,
Hit him.
I think.
Hit him with it.
I think Terry.
Robert Ory.
Robert Ory.
Big Shot Rob. Oh, hell yeah.
I mean, come on.
Big Shot
now.
Rob, baby.
Kawhi Leonard, Hall of Famer. You got hard feelings for him still. He's a Hall of Famer. Kawhi Leonard's a Hall of Famer.
I think he will be. Yes.
Yeah.
And Jack, to go back to your question, Jack, that's tough. I'd have to go do some research. I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Steve Nash.
I can tell you one right now by just if they retired in 5 years. If they retired now and their 5 years is up and they can be in the Hall of Fame, I can tell you one. He's in the NFL right now.
I was just I'm trying to think of somebody that hasn't won a title to.
Oh, okay. It hasn't won a title. Okay.
Well, no, you can have your pick. I was just trying to think outside the box instead of going an easy route with somebody that's
Okay.
won
Oh,
one.
you want a
Well,
hard path? Okay.
Jason Tatum. Is it Tatum?
Jason Tatum. But you were on basketball. I was just saying in general. But
Yeah.
one NFL player, an NBA player that, but what they've done for the organization without winning a ring, this is Josh is saying, hasn't won a ring, but their body of work and what they've done for the league and the organization makes them a Hall of Famer. And the question was, right now, if they retired in 5 years when their time is up, are they a first ballot Hall of Famer? And he's thinking of one. And he said his first one just jokingly, but it's not jokingly because he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer as soon as his time's up, and that's LeBron James.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Sure.
I know he's been retired for a while for the NFL. I know Joe Thomas, what he meant, like we
Yes.
talked about already,
Yeah.
what he meant for that freaking organization.
Yes. Yeah, I
and
mean,
how
he is.
bad they were awful.
Yeah.
They were awful, and he was still one of the most dominant freaking tackles in the game.
Yeah. I don't know. One guy that popped in my mind, just thinking about for some reason I keep going back to the NBA, but like would be Damian Lillard.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You know,
I was
what
thinking
he's
of
been able
that.
to do it in
I
Portland.
was thinking about that kind of train of thought too. I was thinking someone like LaMarcus Aldridge.
Right.
God dang. Dude, I felt bad. I wish he
LaMarcus
would have won.
Aldridge or someone like that was just searching for that ring.
Yeah.
I wish he would have won one with the Spurs, man.
The
I
guy
really
with
did.
what's his name that went from Spurs to Lakers back to the Spurs to try to win. What was his name? The big dude.
Oh, Jackson.
Not Jackson.
Steven.
Not Steven Jackson.
Not Steven
The
Jackson.
big guy.
There's been a few.
Yes, I can't remember his name. Blair Conrad, some I can't remember, but he literally went from Spurs and jumped ship to try to get a ring. He signed like the dude with the goatee. You know what I'm talking? The bald dude with the goatee.
Oh, I can
You know,
see him.
he played on the
I
Cavs.
can see his.
He
Yeah,
played
I
on
can
the
see his face.
Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
Played on
They
the
went
Lakers.
to the Lakers, try to win a ring.
Yes.
They went back to the Spurs, try to win a ring.
Yes.
He was chasing a ring like the later part of his career.
Yes. But I mean that's a Damian Lillard's not a bad one, Josh. That's pretty good, spot on. That's spot on right there, Joshy.
That's spot on. That's a body foul.
That's a body foul.
What about Westbrook?
The perfect one would be you mentioned earlier would be Paul and Marc Gasol. I mean that's the next one that you could think because Mark never won a ring.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would say
he won one in Toronto, didn't he? Didn't he play in Toronto?
Was he on that team when they won it?
I think I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, but they would to me they would almost have to go in together. I would love to see them going together.
Yeah,
that would be pretty sweet. What about like I'm trying to think of I'm trying to think no. Gosh dang, this is great podcasting.
Well, when it's off the top of your head, it's hard to think of something.
What about Clay? I know he's won a ring, but does he get in with the association with the Warriors, the Splash Brothers?
He gets in with them. He was going. I get with. I mean, Klay Thompson, yes. Steph Curry, yes.
This should be our homework for next week. We should come
Andre Iguodala.
5. Ooh. No.
You don't think he's a Hall of Famer? A Finals MVP? Not a Hall of Famer.
He was Finals MVP.
Yes, the year that LeBron averaged a triple-double, Andre Iguodala won the Finals MVP.
Because he's on the winning team, right?
Yeah. That's the only time in my life that I thought the losing team had the Finals MVP.
That's usually, or
like no, this year I knew Joker by far Finals MVP.
Oh yeah.
Everybody do that.
Yeah, but that was the only year I'm like, yeah, the guy that got a triple-double averaged on his butt got the MVP. Yeah.
Like I'm trying to think. I'm trying
Yes.
to think.
Yeah, that's it.
The guy that needs to be in the Hall of Fame, Pete Rose, but that's beside the point.
Anyway,
Aaron Judge one day.
Fuck you, that little piece of shit, cheating piece of shit.
wow. Okay. Anyway, well, Josh,
Fuck that guy.
you
Fuck the
got us any?
Yankees.
You got anyway. That's a good podcasting. So I guess at the end of
Fuck
every
the
podcast,
Yankees.
we should get 3 players.
Uh,
This is your homework, Josh. Next week, if we get everybody, you should get us 4 or 3 players from each sport, and we have to say if they're going to be a Hall of Famer or not, or if they are
Have it
Hall of Famer, like a no name, or if they Hall of Famer, we have to say yes or no, and then the
now.
winner at the end of it.
Now
You
here's
know what I'm
here's
saying?
my question: ring
yeah.
or no ring?
Not always saying. I mean, we could say ring or no ring. That'd be a good
That's
debate. That'd
that's
be
what
a
I'm
good
asking.
question too.
Do we
Anyway,
do
Josh,
we
come up
want
with
to
something like that for next week. Hall of
make
Famer or ring or no ring,
hmm
and
Okay.
and make the
for
caveat? Set the boundary
Right.
of because I think it's harder to try to figure out with someone that's a Hall of Famer that has not won a ring. To me, that's
Right.
harder to try to
okay,
come up with
okay.
than
Yeah, Josh, because that's your homework,
fucking
man.
rings.
You
I
got
got it.
nothing else to do.
I got you. I'll do it. So, you know. All right. And before we end up, I only got one stat for us tonight. I thought it was actually kind of interesting. It actually, again, it's biased, but happened to come across it, and I thought it was really cool. Um, it was a tweet off of Paul. How do you say his name? Is it Finnebaum? The guy off the SEC, the bald guy with the glasses that's always talking crap.
No idea.
Anyways, he said, "What's the craziest college football stat of all time?" And this one person said, uh, "2001 Miami would have gone 8-4 if the offense never scored a touchdown." I thought that was kind of
Yeah, I
crazy.
saw
He
that.
said,
That that's
"FYI, the
that's
offense
pretty
scored 50
impressive,
touchdowns." I thought that was pretty cool, and it just happened to be Miami, but I thought it was pretty cool.
right?
But
That's
without further ado, gentlemen, what we got, Cleat?
that's pretty impressive. That just tells you how
Absolutely,
dominant that freaking defense was in the 0-1 Canes.
yeah, absolutely, yeah. Suck that, Georgia.
Oh, get out of
Anyways,
here!
no, they had a great defense. But anywho, fellas, it's always a pleasure. It is always an honor to share the screen with you and to get on here and just shoot the shit and have fun and talk about sports and all this other kind of stuff. This is the reason why we created the DBAB podcast. Um, we all be the lights for each other. I wish you all nothing but fun and happiness for the rest of the week. Jack, I will see you later this week. Cletus, maybe we will see you later this week as well in the
Friday,
806.
Friday is when
All
I
right.
is my official like
We're
move.
busy Friday, big dog.
Load the U-Haul, go to Lubbock, unload the U-Haul, drive back to Arizona, pick up my truck, and then
Uh,
drive back to
I got you.
Lubbock.
So we
So my
might not be able to see you, but if we do, it'll be great. If not, then
Dave and
our next
Buster's.
time through the 806. But yes, going to Dave and Buster's. But fellas, as always, it is a pleasure and honor to be on a DAB podcast with you. We miss Adam and Cobb, but they will catch him back
They
here
missed
next
that on
week.
the
But without a doubt,
College World Series talk.
this is the DBAB podcast.